Okay, so my final review of today, I think it's the last book I've read that I haven't talked about yet. I kept setting this review off and off and off for no other reason than um, it was an immense topic. It was such a good book, guys. I cannot explain this. I'm just talking about the Rousseau biography, and I'll put up the stuff there so you can see the author and all that stuff. I loved it so much, and I was where was I now? I was someplace like a doctor's office or something, and I finished the book while I was still waiting. So no, I'd taken the kids to the beach or something. So I was like, oh, well, I'm done this book now, and I'm like, well, I have nothing else to read. So I was like, I'm going to read part of it again. So it was. I just absolutely love this book, and I've told you before that my favorite kinds of books are biographies, autobiographies, biographies, and this biography opened up Rousseau to me in such a revealing, helpful, sensitive, informative way that it's really, as I said, with the biography of Goethe I read a year or two ago, that it was just so and so enjoyable, and just is proof to me that yes, my favorite genre is biography or is autobiography. Um, it puts Rousseau plainly before the reader in all his complexity and stupidity and contradiction and emotion and irrationality and all that, um, in a way that's digestible, interesting, moves along, explains his works, okay, explains his books. Now, I really appreciated that. It's been a long time since I've read any Rousseau. Like, I read Social Contract and Discourse on Inequality when I was in high school, and then I read his Confessions probably shortly after, or maybe in high school as well. But not since then have I read anything. And the book that I hear the most about, or I have heard the most about since those days, so over my university career, was Emile. Hi guys, I had to run inside because my battery just died. That's what I get for trying to do three book reviews on an old battery on an old laptop. Anyway, just a few concluding thoughts about Rousseau. I was basically saying that the book I heard the most about Rousseau was Emile, his book about education. Education is one of the primary topics that Rousseau considered in his life. He's been massively influential in several fields, in politics, in education. I mean, he basically created or presaged the Romantic era. It's hard to know. Like, was Romanticism bound to happen with or without Rousseau? I think so. Um, but we can't say for sure. But certainly Rousseau was massively popular, massively influential during the Romantic era. He was the most important, I would say. So his Emile has cropped up again and again in my readings during my university career, because I'm deeply interested in pedagogy and anthropology too, but pedagogy quite specifically. Emile is out there. I have a copy somewhere. I haven't read it yet, and I will. But you know what's crazy? Even more popular than the most popular of his writings during his lifetime was his Nouveau Eloise. What's the other word for the other name for it? I'll look it up and put it right here or whatever. The Nouveau Eloise is is a novel, and in that novel he, well, you know what? Haven't read it. It sounds a lot like Goethe's Werther, but I can't say for sure. Um, and it was massively popular in its time. The author of the biography does an amazing job at showing the Rousseau's influence, showing his self contradictions, showing his weirdness, his quirkiness, showing his hard to get along withness. He didn't keep friends very well. He had strange relationships with women, but fascinating for us today to read about. Um, his fights with Voltaire hated him. His relationship with Diderot fell apart. His relationship with David Hume, Rousseau couldn't hold on to friendships because he was just so, he was really suspicious and weird and stuff. But I've come to appreciate, because of this biography, I've come to appreciate Rousseau a bit more, like, and the innate self-contradictions of thinkers. Just having thumbed through Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil yesterday, Nietzsche makes the point that philosophies are just expositions of the philosopher's character. That is very evident, very clear in the case of Rousseau. And it is the case with other people like Kant, whom Nietzsche hates, but it's reflections of personality types. And I think we should appreciate that even though Rousseau was a weirdo and not that admirable in his personality, like not that virtuous, I think, in a Aristotelian sense of a strong, consistent, brave leader, temperate, just, all that stuff. He wasn't that stuff, but he was consistently inconsistent, and he was consistently himself, and he was consistently a man of the heart. Okay, so, and he didn't hide those things. He knew that what he was, and that was what was so impactful on the world. He wasn't a Hume. He wasn't a Locke. He wasn't a Kant. People who were in control of their faculties and their speech and all that stuff. He was in a way the apostle of intemperate people. Okay, people who don't have it all under control. And those are people too. And I'm one of those people, unfortunately. So I absolutely love this book. If you want to know anything about Rousseau, if you want to figure out when he wrote what the significance was and how the book's related, you got to read this book. It was one of my absolute favorite reads of recent time. Thanks, guys. Third video and final of the day is now complete. I appreciate everything you guys do. I've gotten a lot of comments on the videos recently. I try to respond to them. I know I don't do it quickly all the time, but I get them all. I get all the comments, and I appreciate all the comments. I even appreciate when somebody disagrees with me and calls me an idiot, because I am an idiot, and I like to have people disagree with me. That's why I do this stuff. I want to learn. I want to know when I'm wrong, and I want to know when what I say isn't clear or sounds stupid or whatever. And sometimes I forget what I said because, you know, a person will comment on a video I did 5 years ago, and I don't remember everything that I said. But I don't care about people being insolent. I was young and insolent too, and I'm really sorry I used to be, guys. But now I'm well-tempered. Now I'm the well-tempered Clavier, and thanks everybody for your interest and encouragement. Every time someone comments at all or subscribes or anything, it's very encouraging to me, because, you know, all this stuff is my life. I spent a lot of money and effort learning all this stuff, and it's really, really, really gratifying when it means something to somebody else too. So have a great day, guys. I'll be home in Ontario real soon, probably before you get this video, and I'll try to keep up the good work. Thanks, everyone.